Hi, welcome to lesson number 55 of the B2 course. So this is a very important review lesson. My name's Stephanie. This is level B2 or upper intermediate, and we are now on lesson number 55 of the course. So if you've been following my course, you will know that every 5 lessons we have a review, and I can't emphasize enough how important the reviews are. It's another opportunity to practice the language, the grammatical concepts, the new vocabulary that we have covered in the previous lessons. So there's lots to do in this lesson. Let's take a look at what we're going to cover. Okay, so in lesson 55, you will examine wish and hope, practice using wish to express regret, practice using wish for complaints, focus on fixed expressions to increase fluency, practice using binomial expressions, and then we have a grammar focus on wish plus past simple and wish plus past perfect. Focus on expressions with come, focus on phrasal verbs with come, focus on expressions with go, and finally focus on phrasal verbs with go. So as you can see, there's a lot that we're going to cover, but basically this is looking back at lessons 51, 52, 53 and 54. Okay, let's start. So our first topic is wish and hope. So 7 sentences. You have to choose wish or hope. Number 1, congratulations on the new job. It all works out for you. Number 2, you lots of luck in your new job. Number 3, I'm sorry to hear you have been ill. You feel better soon. Number 4, we would like to all our guests a pleasant stay. Number 5, you nothing but the best. Number 6, the situation at work improves for you. And number 7, enjoy the trip. You have a wonderful time. So pause the slide and choose wish or hope for each of the sentences. Okay, how did you get on? Did you remember the difference between wish and hope? Let's check. So these are the answers. Congratulations on the new job. I hope it all works out for you. We all wish you lots of luck in your new job. I'm sorry to hear you've been ill. I hope you feel better soon. We would like to wish all our guests a pleasant stay. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope the situation at work improves for you. Enjoy the trip. I hope you have a wonderful time. Okay, now do you remember the difference between wish and hope? A good example, if we look at numbers 5 and 6, you wish somebody something. I wish you the best. I wish you luck. But look at number 6, I hope something happens. I hope the situation improves. I hope you feel better soon. If you want to review this, remember to go back to lesson number 51. Okay, so let's move on to making complaints. So this is a really important topic because unfortunately this is something that happens a lot, whether it be in a work context, in a social context. Often things happen that annoy us, and we practiced a very useful and a very easy structure when we want to complain about something. So here we have 8 situations, and at the top I've reminded you of the structure. So the structure is I wish plus would or wouldn't. And there are 8 situations that I'd like you to make a complaint about. Number 1, your neighbour is very noisy. Number 2, you have been waiting in a queue. Number 3, the temperature in the office is too hot. Number 4, the meeting has been going on for ages. Number 5, you are waiting for some important news. Number 6, you think your friend drives too fast. Number 7, it has rained for 3 whole days. And number 8, your teacher speaks too quickly. So maybe there's something there that you can relate to, but in any case, please pause the slide and see if you can write a sentence with the structure I wish plus would or wouldn't. Okay, how did you get on there? Shall we check our answers? So you'll see from this that it's a very easy structure to use. Number 1, I wish she would be quiet. If you want to use the negative, you could say, I wish she wouldn't be so noisy. Number 2, I wish this queue would move. Number 3, I wish they would use the air conditioning. Number 4, I wish it would finish. Number 5, I wish they would tell me. Number 6, I wish he would slow down. Number 7, I wish it would stop. And number 8, I wish she spoke slower. Really well done if you got 8 sentences there. As I said, there are different options. You might have chosen perhaps a different way to interpret it. But as long as you're using the structure I wish plus would or wouldn't, that is very good. Okay, the next lesson, lesson number 52, we looked at binomials. Do you remember this lesson? Okay, well, we discovered that binomials are 2 words that commonly go together. And learning fixed expressions like this is a very easy way, very useful way to increase your fluency levels. So what we're going to have a look at is some common binomial expressions, and all I want you to do is tell me the correct ending. So number 1, give and take or give and forth. What do you think? Let's do this together. So tell me what you think the answer is and then we'll check. Give and take. Number 2, black and white or black and large? Black and white. Number 3, hot and cons or hot and cold? Hot and cold. Number 4, safe and tired or safe and sound? Safe and sound. Number 5, odds and ends or odds and white? Odds and ends. Number 6, by and large or by and forth? By and large. Number 7, pros and take or pros and cons? Pros and cons. Number 8, sick and tired or sick and sound? Sick and tired. Number 9, back and forth or back and downs? Back and forth. And number 10, ups and ends or ups and downs? Ups and downs. Super well done if you got all 10 correct. If you didn't, or if you haven't watched lesson 52, in lesson 52 we look at these in a lot more detail. We look at what they mean and we practice using them in different contexts. For example, we had some discussion questions. Do you agree that for relationships to be successful, there needs to be give and take? So by give and take, I mean compromise. When was the last time you had to weigh up the pros and cons of something? So to weigh up the pros and cons means to evaluate something, to evaluate a situation. You consider, you weigh up the pros and cons. Okay, the next one. By and large, do you think it's harder to learn a language when you are older? So the expression by and large, generally speaking, in general. Do you agree that the law isn't always black and white? So this expression means clearly defined. If something's black and white, there's a very clear right and wrong, very clear groups. But often in life, things aren't always black and white. There's a grey area in the middle. And number 5, would you say that you have experienced ups and downs in your life? So ups and downs means positives and negatives. So you can see here that by using the expression in a sentence, by looking at it in context, firstly, it's much easier to understand what it means, but also it's much easier to remember and to use it correctly. So always try to look at vocabulary in a context. Okay, let's move on. So moving on to lesson number 53 review, we practiced I wish. So we thought about different situations and we made a wish. For example, I hate my job. I wish I had a different job. Okay, so have a look at the examples. I'm so tired. I have to go to work tomorrow. I can't play tennis well. I don't understand the lecture. I don't like living in the city. It's so hot today. There's so much traffic. Work is so stressful at the moment. So probably things there we can all relate to, but how would you express the wish? So practice wish plus the past simple. Pause the slide and see if you can write me 8 sentences. Okay, how did you find that? Well, let's check our answers through together. Okay, so our first one, I'm so tired. I wish I felt more awake. Or quite simply, you could have said, I wish I wasn't. I have to go to work tomorrow. I wish I didn't have to go. I can't play tennis well. I wish I could play better. I don't understand the lecture. I wish I understood what she was saying. I don't like living in the city. I wish I lived in the countryside. It's so hot today. I wish it was cooler. There's so much traffic. I wish the roads were quieter. Work is so stressful at the moment. I wish it was less busy. Really, really well done if you got those correct. Now, if you remember back to lesson 53, we reminded ourselves that when our situation is in the present, I am tired. I have to go to work. I can't. It is. There is. Then our wish is in the past simple. I am tired. I wish I felt. I have to. I wish I didn't. So when our situation is in the present, we can make a wish in the past simple. Okay, so that's something really useful to remember there. But what about when the wish is in the past? Okay, so here we have a situation that happened in the past. The boss didn't tell me about the meeting. So look at the verb did not. It's past simple. So the wish becomes past perfect. I wish he had told me. So let's have a look at some more situations. I was late. I chose pizza, but the pasta looks delicious. I didn't do well at the interview. I got caught in the rain. I ordered black shoes, but I prefer brown. I never told him how I felt. So here our situations are all in the past, so you need to use the past perfect in your answers. I wish I had, or I wish he had. Plus, so we've got the past perfect. So pause the slide and try 6 sentences. Okay, time to check our answers. So, number 1, I was late. I wish I had arrived on time. I chose pizza, but the pasta looks delicious. I wish I had chosen pasta. I didn't do well at the interview. I wish I had prepared more. I got caught in the rain. I wish I had checked the forecast. I ordered black shoes, but I prefer brown. I wish I had ordered the brown pair. And I never told him how I felt. I wish I had said something. So very, very well done if you got these answers. Maybe you've had some slight variations. The important thing is that you've used a past perfect in your wish construction. Again, if you want to revise this more, please go back to lesson 53 where we look at it in a lot more detail. Okay, the final lesson we're going to review today is lesson 54, the one just before this, where we looked at come and go. So there were lots of expressions and phrasal verbs in this lesson. It's an awful lot of vocabulary. And we reminded ourselves that when we meet a lot of vocabulary, it's often impossible to remember everything. So choose some expressions that you think would be useful, that you think you could actually use at work or however you're using English in a social context, and try to use those ones. It's so much more useful than trying to memorize lists of vocabulary. Okay, well, let's have a look together then. Firstly, let's remember expressions with come. So we had come into bloom, meaning to flower, come to terms with something, to accept a situation, come to a dead end, to reach an impasse, come to a head, to reach a crisis point, and come to light, to become known. Okay, so just have a look at these, refresh your memory, and then look at sentences 1 to 5, where I want you to use one of the expressions with come. Pause the slide and see if you can put them in the right sentences. Okay, so hopefully that was nice and straightforward, but let's check our answers together. The blossom should come into bloom in early spring. New evidence has come to light, which suggests he's not guilty. The situation came to a head when the police intervened. I'm afraid I can't come to terms with the new rules. Talks have come to a dead end. We can't reach an agreement. Well done if you got all 5 right there. Then we had phrasal verbs with come. Come down with, meaning to become sick. Come to, meaning to remember or recall. Come out, meaning to appear. Come up with, meaning to produce or supply. And come round or come around, meaning to change one's mind. So again, 5 sentences. See if you can put the right phrasal verb in each sentence. Okay, let's check our answers together. The magazine comes out every Monday. She missed the test because she had come down with a migraine. I know I can convince him to come round to our side. The team came up with an innovative solution to the problem. Give me a minute and the answer will come to me. So hopefully 5 out of 5 there. Okay, and the second verb we focused on was go. So let's have a look at the 5 expressions with go. Go with the flow. To accept events without fighting them. Go out of your way. To make a special effort. Go overboard. To go to extreme measures. Go off on a tangent. To get sidetracked. Go for it. Take an opportunity. Again, 5 sentences. Put the right expression in the relevant sentence. Okay, hopefully you're getting good at this now. Let's check together. The fans went overboard with their celebrations when their team won the league. I appreciate you going out of your way to make me welcome. Don't stress so much, just go with the flow. He never stays on point, but always goes off on a tangent. Just go for it and apply for the job. Okay, and the last section we have phrasal verbs using go. Go off, to ring. Go over, to review. Go with, to match. Go by, to pass. Go on, to happen. Have a look at the 5 sentences and choose the right phrasal verb. Okay, so for the last time this lesson, let's check our answers. That top goes with your shoes perfectly. My alarm went off too early this morning. What's going on upstairs? There's a lot of shouting. Time goes by quickly when you're having fun. Let's go over your answers. Excellent work if you got those correct. If you're not sure, made some mistakes, don't worry, but maybe a good idea to review lesson 54. Just have a look at lesson 54 again. We look at them in a lot more detail and there's more practice. We also remembered that phrasal verbs are so important especially at this sort of level of English. Perhaps you're not going to speak using phrasal verbs, but if you're listening, native speakers often prefer to use a phrasal verb to the alternative. So even if you're just listening to English, you will hear a lot of phrasal verbs being used. Okay, well done for completing lesson number 55. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you next time, lesson 56, which will be a grammar-based lesson on relative clauses. If you're not sure what they are, don't worry. I'm sure you do already use them, but we will practice and look at them in more detail next lesson, number 56. Thank you for watching.